But I do think one thing that really irks me on the left, and I don't really have a lot of faith in the right, so you tend to criticize the people that you line up more, that you care more about, and that would be the Democrats for me. People lost trust in them because the voters were saying there was a concern. There were people across the board saying they had a concern. And the Democrats said, no, over here, look over here. They told the voters what to care about, and they did not listen when the voters said they cared. So these stories come out aren't about beating a dead horse. It's saying if they could have a fair conversation that we heard you, we saw it as they saw it, they'd be gaining some of the voters back to say, okay, we're not going to keep saying that.
Do you agree with that?
It was the kind of moment that made everyone sit up and pay attention. An on-air clash so intense, fans couldn't believe what they were watching. Sparks flew between Whoopi Goldberg and Sunny Hostin in a way that left the studio buzzing and social media in a frenzy. What triggered this latest showdown? Whispers of rising tension and behind-the-scenes frustration set the stage, but no one expected things to unravel so publicly. Allies turned silent, unexpected opinions surfaced, and the fallout threatened to spill far beyond one heated exchange. It all started with a single loaded question that no one saw coming. The topic was supposed to be routine, another debate about a hot-button political issue, but the conversation twisted when Sunny challenged a long-held belief, catching even Whoopi off guard. Sunny didn't hold back, calling out what she saw as hypocrisy, while Whoopi doubled down with her trademark bluntness. The room got tense fast, as viewers watched the two trade barbs, each more pointed than the last. What set this argument apart was how personal it got. Sunny referenced a past comment Whoopi made off-air, and Whoopi shot back with a cryptic remark about loyalty that left everyone stunned. Sources say the tension had been simmering for weeks, but nobody expected it to explode like this. And just when it seemed like things might cool off, the reaction from the rest of the panel made everything even more unpredictable. Nobody could ignore the tension swirling around the table. The air felt thick with surprise and uncertainty. Joy Behar's eyes darted between Whoopi and Sunny, clearly caught off guard by how personal things had become. Sarah Haynes froze mid-sentence, lips parted, as if searching for the right words, but choosing silence instead. Alyssa Farah Griffin glanced nervously toward the crew, her expression a mix of disbelief and concern. Even seasoned viewers noticed the uncomfortable gap that followed, with rumors swirling afterward about whispered apologies and anxious glances when cameras cut to commercial. Some insiders claim a quiet argument erupted backstage, while others insist producers scrambled to regain control as the panelists' shock bled into the next segment. What truly happened after the cameras stopped rolling only added more fuel to the fire. This wasn't the first time sparks flew between Whoopi and Sunny. Over the years, their debates have gone from spirited to downright explosive, with each clash leaving a mark that doesn't just fade away by the next episode. Behind the laughter and rehearsed smiles, old wounds seem to resurface at the most unexpected moments, like that infamous argument about a controversial celebrity guest, or the time Sunny called out Whoopi's views on criminal justice, sending the panel into chaos. Insiders whisper about icy silences during commercial breaks and tense production meetings where both hosts refuse to back down. The rivalry isn't always front and center, but there's a pattern, a kind of push and pull that fans have started picking up on, fueling rumors that something deeper is brewing beneath the surface. And as this latest feud erupted, some began to wonder if the show was reaching a breaking point. But what happened once the cameras stopped rolling would make everything even more complicated. As soon as the show went to commercial, the real drama reportedly began. Multiple sources claim that producers rushed to separate the co-hosts before things boiled over, with raised voices echoing down the hallway. Some even insist that ultimatums were thrown around behind closed doors. Either the feuding stops or changes will be made. Rumors of a tense conversation between Whoopi and Sunny, away from prying eyes, only added to the speculation. Certain crew members supposedly threatened to walk if the backstage hostility kept escalating. Whispers about security being quietly put on alert for future tapings have started circulating online, hinting that this isn't just a one-off blow-up. And as the fallout spread through the studio, questions swirled about whether the producers could keep the peace or if someone might be forced to make a dramatic exit. But that wasn't the end. What happened after the episode aired would send fans into a frenzy all over again. The internet went wild the second clips of the argument hit social media, Within minutes, hashtags like #ViewMeltdown and #TeamSunny started trending as fans picked sides and theories exploded across Twitter and TikTok. Some viewers cheered Sunny for finally standing up to Whoopi, while others accused her of crossing a line. Viral edits and slowed-down reaction shots racked up millions of views, eagle-eyed fans dissecting every glare and whispered comment. Even former View co-hosts chimed in, dropping cryptic tweets that only fueled the speculation. As the debate spiraled online, deep divides between longtime fans and newer viewers became glaringly obvious. Meanwhile, ABC's official account stayed dead silent, igniting fresh rumors about what the network was really trying to hide. But as chaos spread across timelines and group chats, an even bigger question started to emerge. How would the network respond to the uproar behind the scenes? Behind the scenes, ABC executives weren't just watching, they were scrambling. Insiders claim emergency meetings were called within hours, with higher-ups demanding answers and even warning the show's producers to get it under control or face consequences. Whispers of private sit-downs with Whoopi and Sunny began swirling, where it's rumored stern ultimatums were laid out and future contracts quietly threatened. Some sources insist the network considered reshuffling the panel or even bringing in temporary replacements if the chaos didn't die down. As speculation mounted, fans dissected every on-air moment for clues that ABC was pulling strolls or issuing secret warnings. The silence from official channels only added to the mystery, fueling wild theories about what the network might do next. But that wasn't the whole story, because the real shock came when the hosts returned to the table and everything felt just a little off. The tension didn't just fade away, it twisted into something even more unpredictable. Fans noticed a new chill on the set, with Whoopi and Sunny trading polite smiles but careful not to cross lines. The chemistry that once powered the show now felt uneasy, with every comment weighed and measured. Some viewers claimed they spotted a barely audible apology on a hot mic, while others insisted Sunny's cryptic Instagram post was a thinly veiled warning about trust. Rumors swirled that producers quietly shuttled prep meetings to keep the hosts apart, and leaked texts hinted at fresh alliances forming behind closed doors. Just when it seemed like the dust might settle, whispers of a surprise guest with ties to past scandals threatened to reignite the drama, leaving everyone wondering if The View's most explosive chapter was just getting started. Just when viewers thought the storm had passed, whispers started swirling about a secret production memo that threatened to blow the lid off everything. Insiders claim this confidential document outlined new rules just for Whoopi and Sunny, stricter time limits, a ban on personal jabs, and even a cooling-off period after heated debates. Some say the memo was leaked to a few staffers who then tipped off media blogs, unleashing a fresh wave of speculation. But that wasn't all. Behind the scenes, rumors of a power struggle between executive producers and the network's top brass began to surface, with both sides blaming each other for letting things spiral out of control. Meanwhile, a mysterious absence from one co-host's social media sparked wild theories about suspensions, secret negotiations, or even a possible exit. With so many questions hanging in the air and tension nowhere near resolved, fans are left wondering if this was just a bump in the road or the start of a much bigger shakeup, and what happens next could change The View forever. In the middle of all this chaos, a startling new detail slipped through the cracks, one that could flip the entire narrative on its head. Insiders have started whispering about a mysterious figure behind the scenes, supposedly pulling strings and stoking the drama for reasons no one's quite figured out yet. Some claim this shadowy executive has a history of engineering on-air confrontations to spike ratings, even if it means risking the hosts' relationships. Others say there's a deeper motive, hinting at a brewing power play inside the network that goes far beyond what viewers ever see on screen. What's clear is that trust is in short supply, and the line between authentic debate and manufactured chaos has never been blurrier. As new leaks threaten to reveal names and motives, fans are left questioning everything they thought they knew about The View. And if these latest rumors are true, the wildest plot twist hasn't even dropped yet. But just when it seemed like the dust was finally settling, a fresh wave of whispers began swirling through industry circles. Sources close to production claim there's a confidential dossier making the rounds, packed with receipts, anonymous testimonies, and even screenshots that could blow the lid off internal dynamics at The View. Supposedly, this file doesn't just target Whoopi and Sunny, but also pulls back the curtain on producers, guest bookers, and even network PR. With allegations of manipulation and calculated leaks meant to keep the show in the headlines no matter the cost. Some names linked to past scandals have reportedly resurfaced, hinting at messy feuds and old betrayals that never fully healed. If this mysterious dossier ever sees the light of day, it could trigger a reckoning, not just for the on-air personalities, but for everyone calling the shots behind the scenes. And if the rumors are true, the most jaw-dropping revelations are still being held back. For now, just when everyone thought they'd seen it all, a single cryptic message sent shockwaves through the View's inner circle. Screenshots started circulating in private group chats, alleged texts between two high-profile executives hinting that the recent drama wasn't just messy, but part of a calculated push to shake up the show's legacy cast. Fans began to wonder if a much bigger overhaul was being plotted behind closed doors, with whispers about secret auditions and sudden contract renegotiations swirling non-stop. Even more eyebrow-raising, a notorious former co-host was spotted exiting ABC headquarters just days after the blow-up, fueling wild theories about a dramatic comeback or a last-ditch power grab. The line between chaos and strategy has never been thinner, and everyone's trying to figure out who's really pulling the strings. But with so many players moving in the shadows, one thing's clear: something massive is brewing, and what comes next could flip the entire story upside down. But just when insiders thought they'd pieced together the full story, a startling new twist surfaced. Late-night chatter pointed to a private dinner involving a key producer, a controversial PR strategist, and a familiar face from the network's legal team, fueling wild theories about hush deals and back-channel negotiations. Whispers suggest a series of confidential payouts might have been arranged to keep certain details under wraps, especially after a staffer allegedly threatened to leak damning messages tying higher-ups to orchestrated on-air conflicts. Some say the network's own crisis team flagged the situation as one of the highest-risk moments in recent daytime TV history, with executives scrambling to bury paper trails and keep the fallout contained. But as new leaks keep trickling out, the boundaries between damage control and outright cover-up are getting harder to spot. And if the next revelation breaks the way some are predicting, the chaos unleashed so far could look tame by comparison. Just when it seemed like every twist had been uncovered, a sudden leak set shockwaves through the entire production. Screenshots of an internal email chain surfaced online, allegedly showing top brass debating whether to air a never-before-seen segment that was abruptly cut from the controversial episode. Rumors exploded that this lost footage featured an even more heated off-air confrontation, with accusations and personal secrets tossed around so explosively that legal stepped in. Some insiders believe this hidden moment could upend the official story, exposing alliances and betrayals that the network desperately tried to bury. For fans and staff alike, the idea that the wildest drama never even made it to air is enough to call everything into question. And with whispers that the footage might still be floating around, everyone's bracing for another wave of chaos, because if those capes ever leak, the fallout could be far bigger than anyone imagined. But beneath all the chaos, a bombshell detail quietly slipped through the cracks, one that almost nobody caught at first. Sources say an anonymous whistleblower inside the production team has started leaking cryptic hints about a years-old, sealed legal file that links a former executive to a string of past scandals at the network. What's wild is that this file supposedly ties together not just the current drama between Whoopi and Sunny, but also connects to incidents involving talent departures, sudden hush-hush settlements, and even a mysterious on-set accident that insiders still refuse to discuss. Industry insiders are buzzing about what's inside, and some claim it could force the network to reopen investigations long thought buried. With so much at stake, tension behind the scenes is hitting a boiling point, and everyone's wondering who might crack first. But that wasn't the whole story, because what insiders uncovered next would send shockwaves through the entire industry. Buried beneath all the chaos, one name started popping up in whispered conversations, a figure from the network's past that most thought was long gone. According to insiders, this person had quietly resurfaced in recent weeks, allegedly reaching out to current staff with cryptic warnings and strange requests for old episode takes. Some say this mystery player holds a forgotten key to the show's biggest secrets. From off-air meltdowns to confidential settlements that never saw the light of day. Even more bizarre, a handful of staffers claim to have received late-night calls urging them to keep quiet about certain events, hinting that someone's trying to rewrite history before it catches up to them. As more details leak out, it's clear that the drama isn't just about on-air arguments. It's about buried stories, hidden loyalties, and the people pulling strings in the shadows. And as the whispers grow louder, everyone's left asking, what else is out there waiting to be uncovered? What almost nobody realizes is that one of the wildest secrets might be hiding in plain sight, a pattern in the View's scripts themselves. Insiders have started pointing out how, right before every major blow-up, certain segments seem to get swapped at the last minute, with approved talking points disappearing from the teleprompter and hosts suddenly forced to improvise. Some staffers whispered that these mysterious changes aren't accidents at all, but calculated moves designed to push the panel's hottest personalities over the edge. The theory? There's an invisible hand feeding the chaos, setting the stage for viral moments and explosive arguments, no matter the fallout. And as these allegations pick up steam, everyone's wondering just how deep the manipulation goes, and if even the on-air feuds are being orchestrated from behind the curtain. Buried in all the wild speculation, one detail has gone almost completely unnoticed. A pattern of sudden, unexplained absences among senior staff right after every blow-up on air. Insiders have quietly started tracking when certain longtime producers or legal advisors vanish for days at a time, always following the messiest clashes between Whoopi and Sunny. Some speculate these disappearances aren't vacations, but secret crisis meetings off-site or even last-minute negotiations to keep damaging stories from reaching the press. There are whispers that at least one top staffer has been quietly reassigned after being caught leaking internal emails about the feuds, while others claim a mysterious NDA was pushed across everyone's desk just last week, warning of serious consequences for anyone who talks out of turn. Whatever the truth, these vanishing acts and tightened security measures have left even the most seasoned crew on edge, wondering if the next shakeup is already in motion, and if the biggest secrets are about to come crashing out into the open. Almost nobody saw this coming. A cryptic message appeared on a private fan forum claiming someone close to the show was sitting on a game changer that could unravel everything viewers thought they knew. According to the post, a cache of unedited rehearsal tapes exists, capturing hosts and producers in raw, unfiltered moments, heated arguments, strategy sessions, and blunt admissions about which feuds are real and which ones are played up for ratings. The allegation? Some on-air battles are less spontaneous than they seem, with certain arguments carefully mapped out in advance to maximize drama. If even half of what's rumored on those tapes is true, it could turn The View's recent chaos from unpredictable disaster into a carefully crafted spectacle, one that blurs the line between reality and performance even more than anyone guessed. Beneath all the noise, a single line buried in an old legal filing has just surfaced, and it's already sending ripples through the show's tight-lipped inner circle. The document, apparently drafted years ago, hints that one of The View's highest-profile on-air meltdowns was actually used as leverage in a secret settlement, with both talent and producers sworn to silence by airtight NDAs. The kicker? Insiders are buzzing that this wasn't a one-off. There might be a pattern of explosive moments being quietly weaponized for power plays behind the scenes. Suddenly, every fiery debate and public feud takes on a whole new meaning, leaving fans and staff alike questioning what's real, what's strategic, and who's really calling the shots. And if more of these hidden deals start to unravel, the real drama could be just beginning. Buried deep in the chaos, one detail barely anyone's caught is already raising eyebrows: a set of burner phones allegedly used by key staffers to communicate off the grid during the show's most turbulent weeks. Sources claim these secret devices were used to coordinate leaks, trade intel, and even record private conversations without leaving a digital paper trail. Some say the whole system was set up after a close call with a rogue employee nearly blowing the lid off production secrets last year. Now, with rumors swirling about encrypted group chats and hush-hush meetings at random city hotels, insiders are questioning just how far some will go to control the story or bury it. And as whispers about hidden audio files and mystery drop points pick up steam, it's clear this saga is nowhere near finished. Here's the wildest part. Despite all the chaos swirling on and off the set, a handful of insiders claim there's been a secret agreement in place for months, designed to keep certain stories out of the headlines no matter what. According to these sources, key players, including hosts, producers, and even network lawyers, allegedly meet every Friday to review which incidents can be spun for ratings and which absolutely have to stay buried. The real kicker? There's talk of a do not discuss list packed with explosive topics, personal scandals, and even the names of banned guests who supposedly know too much. Staffers whisper that anyone who breaks these rules risks being blackballed from the industry, or worse, getting hit with instant legal threats. It's a level of control that's left even longtime crew members on edge, wondering who's actually running the show. And what happens if someone decides to break ranks? The fallout could be bigger than anything fans have seen yet. There's one detail almost nobody's talking about, a curious pattern of last-minute guest cancellations that started raising serious questions. In the past few weeks alone, at least 3 high-profile guests reportedly pulled out just hours before their scheduled appearance, each citing unforeseen circumstances. But insiders whisper these dropouts weren't random at all. Some say certain guests received anonymous warnings not to step foot on set, hinting at secrets they might accidentally spill live. Others claim a blacklist is quietly circulating behind the scenes, with producers scrambling to scrub guest lists when tensions spike. A few even suggest it's a form of silent protest, with celebs refusing to be drawn into the ongoing chaos. No one's officially confirming anything, but the mounting string of unexplained cancellations is fueling a whole new wave of speculation. And if the truth behind these sudden exits ever comes out, it could blow the lid off everything fans thought they knew. Here's what almost nobody saw coming. Buried in a recent tabloid report was a single jaw-dropping detail. A former guest allegedly tried to secretly record a heated off-air exchange between Whoopi and Sunny, only to be swiftly escorted out by security. Insiders claim this wasn't just bad etiquette. It triggered a frantic behind-the-scenes scramble, with staff reportedly searching for hidden devices and locking down the green room for hours. The fallout didn't stop there. Rumor has it, this guest has since been quietly blacklisted from all live ABC appearances, sparking wild debate about just how much has really been caught on tape over the years. Now, longtime fans are buzzing. If that footage ever leaks, it could upend everything the networks tried to keep buried. Here's a detail that almost slipped through the cracks. A cryptic memo reportedly circulated among upper management just days after the blow-up, warning staff that unexpected audits were about to begin. According to insiders, these surprise checks weren't just about paperwork. They targeted private messages, deleted footage, and even old security logs from the studio. Some say the sudden crackdown was sparked by fears that incriminating evidence about past cover-ups could leak at any moment, especially with new whistleblowers threatening to go public. The real kicker? A handful of employees were allegedly suspended without warning, fueling theories that someone close to the top might be cleaning house before the next big story breaks. With even more secrets possibly about to surface, staff are scrambling, and everyone's wondering, who's really being protected? And what are they so desperate to hide? In the midst of all the uproar, a detail quietly slipped into the conversation that could unravel everything. Rumors began swirling about a private therapist allegedly on retainer for multiple cast members, brought in after one particularly explosive backstage confrontation. Supposedly, sessions were held off-site, with confidentiality agreements so strict that even emails to book appointments were wiped from the server. Insiders whisper that this wasn't just about damage control. It was a desperate move to keep personal breakdowns and behind-the-scenes meltdowns from spilling into the tabloids. Some even claim at least one session ended with a co-host storming out, threatening to quit on the spot unless the toxic cycle was broken. If these stories are true, it means the show's chaos wasn't just for cameras. The emotional fallout was real, and the stakes higher than anyone realized. Just when it seemed like every angle had been covered, whispers started buzzing about a secret night out involving several key cast members, one that ended in chaos far from the cameras. According to insiders, this wasn't your average team dinner. Heated arguments reportedly broke out at a secluded lounge, with accusations flying and alliances shifting right in front of stunned patrons. The real shock? Someone allegedly snapped photos of the blow-up. And word is those images have quietly been making the rounds among Hollywood gossip circles. If the rumors are true, what happened that night could reveal just how deep the cracks really run between the hosts, and who's actually pulling strings when the lights go down. And while most are scrambling to keep the details buried, The threat of those photos going public has everyone on edge. All the chaos might pale compared to what insiders are now whispering: a rumored vault hidden deep in the studio, said to contain decades worth of confidential tapes, written notes, and private recordings from the show's most explosive moments. According to those in the know, only a handful of trusted staff even know the vault's true location, and its contents go far beyond what's ever aired or leaked. Some say it holds raw footage of off-air meltdowns, secret strategy sessions, and even evidence of deals that never made it past the boardroom. The wildest claim? That at least one tape documents a behind-the-scenes confrontation so volatile, it nearly shut the show down for good. If even a fraction of what's rumored inside ever surfaced, it could trigger a scandal with fallout no one's prepared for. But that wasn't the whole story. Right when everyone thought the chaos had reached its peak, a jaw-dropping rumor started making waves. Someone inside the studio allegedly tried to leak a classified HR report detailing years of internal complaints and workplace drama. Whispers claim this file names names, dates, and connects the dots between on-air showdowns and off-camera blow-ups that left staff shaken and some fearing for their jobs. The real shock? The leak may have been traced back to a longtime crew member who'd finally had enough, sparking a frantic scramble among top execs to plug the breach before it hit the press. Insiders say frantic late-night meetings and emergency IT sweeps took over the studio, with everyone suddenly paranoid about who they could trust. If even a piece of that report makes it out, it could tear down the carefully crafted image the network has worked so hard to protect. Here's something almost nobody outside the tightest circles knows. A shadowy figure with deep ties to both talent and network brass has suddenly gone off the grid, vanishing just as rumors about another explosive leak began swirling. Some insiders are whispering that this person was the one connecting all the dots, part fixer, part informant, quietly orchestrating damage control for years. Now, with their sudden disappearance, staff are left rattled by the possibility that old secrets may finally escape the vault. There's talk that encrypted backup files, supposedly buried and forgotten, might be in play, potentially holding everything from raw audio of private arguments to unedited memos spelling out which on-air moments were staged. With trust at an all-time low and paranoia running wild, the next revelation could come from anywhere, and nobody knows whose reputation might be on the line. For all the chaos on screen, there's one twist almost nobody predicted. A trusted insider reportedly turned whistleblower, dropping a cryptic dossier with timestamps and details that threaten to shatter the View's carefully constructed image. According to the latest leaks, this file hints at a coordinated cover-up surrounding a past guest scandal that was quietly buried by top brass, complete with emails, hidden payoffs, and a list of names who allegedly knew too much. The kicker? The whistleblower claims to have backed up the evidence in a place even the most ironclad NDAs can't touch, leaving the network scrambling to contain the threat before it goes public. If what's inside ever sees daylight, it could connect dots between long-rumored feuds, sudden staff exits, and the unspoken rules everyone's been forced to play by. And as insiders scramble to figure out just how much is about to spill, one thing's clear: the next move could bring secrets crashing out that nobody's prepared for. Behind the scenes, rumors started swirling about a secret insurance policy held by the network, one that allegedly covers not just technical mishaps, but also the fallout from on-air meltdowns and personal scandals. Insiders whispered this policy was quietly expanded after a past incident nearly brought filming to a halt, with clauses so specific they even mention public feuds, resulting in reputational damage. Some staffers joke that certain producers know the fine print better than their own contracts, while others say it's proof the show expects chaos to keep coming. The wildest theory? That payouts from this policy have been used before to quietly settle disputes, hush departing staff, or fund last-minute legal defenses when accusations surfaced. If the details ever go public, it could reveal just how much of the drama is anticipated and managed before viewers ever see it. And what insiders found next would leave even the most loyal fans questioning everything they thought they knew. Here's the twist that's left even longtime staffers reeling. Just days after the latest blow-up, an unmarked envelope reportedly appeared on the desks of several network executives. Inside, what looked like a list, handwritten, no less, detailing past incidents never made public, from explosive on-set confrontations to secret settlements and emergency hush meetings. the kicker. At least 2 entries reference a notorious former cast member whose sudden departure years ago was always shrouded in secrecy. Now, insiders are quietly panicking, convinced someone on the inside is ready to break the silence and bring buried scandals into the light. With nerves running high and trust at an all-time low, everyone's watching for the next move. Because if this list is real, the fallout could tear open wounds the network thought were long healed. And what happens next could leave everyone blindsided. What almost nobody realizes is that a single anonymous tip sparked a chain reaction inside the network just days ago. One that's already sending shockwaves through the highest ranks. According to insiders, a detailed message landed in the legal department's inbox, hinting at a long-buried archive of private correspondence between top producers and controversial former guests. The emails allegedly reveal not only calculated efforts to steer on-air conflicts, but also secret agreements designed to protect certain reputations while throwing others under the bus. For years, staff had whispered about off-limits topics and unspoken deals. But if these messages come to light, they could back up every wild rumor fans had speculated about and blow the lid off alliances that were never meant to see daylight. With executives scrambling to lock down old accounts and digital files, anxiety behind the scenes is at an all-time high. And what happened next would shock everyone. Almost overnight, the atmosphere at The View took another sharp turn when staff started whispering about an unexpected visit from a private investigator, someone reportedly hired by a mysterious third party, not the network itself. The buzz was immediate. This outsider wasn't just poking around for gossip, but digging through old visitor logs, security footage, and years-old incident reports. Some say the investigators' questions zeroed in on moments when things got heated off-air, especially cases that never made the headlines. The most alarming rumor? The PI was spotted in deep conversation with a former crew member, infamous for nearly leaking details about a cast member who quietly left the show after a mental health crisis. This raised even more questions. Who sent them? What evidence are they after? And just how many secrets are left buried under layers of NDAs and hush deals? What's clear is that the stakes have just been raised yet again, and what this investigator uncovers could finally force the truth into the open. Nobody expected the real game changer to come from a sudden unexplained blackout during a live taping, leaving viewers staring at a blank screen for nearly a minute, while chaos reportedly erupted on set. Insiders say the meltdown behind the scenes was so intense, emergency protocols kicked in and security rushed to the studio floor. Whispers claim a heated confrontation got physical, with at least one co-host storming out and a frantic call to upper management made on the spot. The official story chalked it up to technical difficulties, but those in the know aren't buying it. Screenshots from internal chat threads hint at a scramble to wipe surveillance footage and silence anyone who witnessed the blowup. Now, staffers are more rattled than ever, worried this blackout was just the tip of the iceberg. And what happened next would shock everyone. Almost overnight, whispers erupted about an encrypted group chat, allegedly run by a handful of veteran crew members, where the juiciest behind-the-scenes scandals have been documented, dissected, and even predicted long before they ever hit the rumor mill. Screenshots are said to reveal real-time play-by-plays during filming, blunt opinions about the host's private behavior, and even warnings when danger zones are about to erupt live. Some insiders claim secret polls were held in the chat, betting on which co-host would snap first or which segment would trigger another viral clash. What's even wilder? Rumor has it, select media blogs have been buying access to snippets from this digital diary, fueling a cycle where chaos on air instantly turns into clickbait off camera. If the truth about this shadow chat ever got out, it could expose just how much of the drama isn't just captured, it's anticipated. And what happened next would shock everyone. Out of nowhere, another explosive twist hit the rumor mill. A notorious tabloid journalist was spotted lurking outside the studio, reportedly after a tip-off that a major scandal was about to break. Insiders say this wasn't just a random paparazzi moment. Word is, the journalist met with a disgruntled former staffer in a nearby cafe with hush-hush chatter about a lost diary packed with raw confessions from past and present cast members. The diary supposedly details everything: secret alliances, staged confrontations, and the real toll all the chaos has taken on people's lives. Some claim copies of key pages are already circulating in underground media circles, chronicles, just waiting for the right moment to drop. If this diary ever goes public, it could finally confirm the wildest rumors fans have debated for years and blow the lid off secrets even the hosts thought were buried for good. What almost nobody realizes is that in the midst of all this chaos, a sudden shift in the show's sponsorship sent shockwaves through the industry. Several longtime advertisers reportedly pulled their spots without warning, citing brand safety concerns after the latest round of rumors and backstage blow-ups. Insiders whisper that frantic calls between network execs and ad agencies revealed just how nervous corporate partners had become. Especially after whispers of leaked footage and hidden tapes started spreading. Some sponsors allegedly demanded the network guarantee certain hosts wouldn't appear together on air until things calmed down, while others quietly reviewed contracts for loopholes to pull out entirely. The impact was immediate. Last-minute ad reshuffles, awkward on-air product placements, and even whispers about lost revenue targets. Suddenly, the drama wasn't just about egos or headlines, it was threatening to hit the network where it hurt most. And as word of even more sponsor demands started circulating, everyone was left wondering what the next fallout would be. Just when the dust seemed to settle, an even more unsettling rumor began making the rounds. Some say one of The View's most trusted insiders is sitting on a treasure trove of dirt that could upend everything. Allegedly, this person has been quietly compiling a digital archive for years, packed with voice memos, deleted texts, and secret recordings from the set. Whispers claim it holds not just feuds and backstabbing, but also confidential conversations about blacklisted guests, hush money deals, and the real reasons behind high-profile departures. What's got everyone on edge isn't just the risk of leaks, but the suspicion that this stash could be used as leverage if the network tries to push anyone out. The threat alone has tensions at a breaking point, with even the boldest panelists watching their backs and crew members scrambling to cover their tracks. And what happens if this hidden archive ever surfaces? The fallout wouldn't just rock the show. It could change daytime TV forever. Here's a detail almost nobody's talking about. In the chaos after the latest blow-up, a sudden, unexplained shakeup hit the network's legal team. Insiders whisper that a senior lawyer known for keeping the messiest secrets buried was abruptly reassigned right after a mystery envelope landed in their office. The timing wasn't lost on staffers, who say the mood behind the scenes turned icy overnight. With whispers that critical files went missing just as outside investigators started asking questions. Some even claim encrypted backup drives vanished from the network's secure archive, sparking fears that years of damaging intel might be floating around, ready to be dropped at the worst possible moment. The stakes have never felt higher, and with so much on the line, everyone's wondering who will make the next move. A single offhand comment during a commercial break just set off a fresh wave of speculation behind the scenes. A moment so quick most missed it, but sharp-eared insiders caught every word. Word is, a high-profile panelist was overheard joking about jumping ship if the chaos keeps escalating, making producers scramble to contain the gossip before it reached the press. The nerves are real. Staff reportedly started scanning contracts and back channels for signs of sudden exits or last-minute lineup changes. Some even claim a rival network has been quietly courting one of The View's biggest names with a record-breaking offer, hoping to cash in on the turmoil. If a defection happens now, it wouldn't just be a headline. It could signal that the cracks behind the scenes are finally too deep to ignore. And what happened next would shock everyone. All eyes suddenly turned to a cryptic post that popped up on a niche industry forum, claiming a well-known former producer had quietly started shopping a tell-all manuscript to publishers. Word spread fast that the book isn't just a memoir. It allegedly names names, details NDA-shrouded incidents, and drops bombshells about how some of The View's most iconic blow-ups were orchestrated from the inside. The wildest claim? It supposedly includes proof of a hidden network of fixers hired to clean up scandals before they ever reached the press, with receipts linking top brass to some of the show's darkest chapters, including abrupt departures, lost footage, and hush money deals after a staffer nearly OD'd in the studio. Insiders are bracing for impact, and some hosts have reportedly lawyered up just in case. If this book ever hits shelves, the fallout could make every past headline look tame. Just when everyone thought the secrets couldn't run any deeper, a wave of encrypted emails started making the rounds among select media insiders, Messages hinting at a hidden kill list of storylines and scandals the View's top brass have sworn will never see the light of day. According to the latest whispers, this list is so sensitive that mere mention of certain names can trigger instant legal threats and frantic damage control behind the scenes. A handful of insiders claim these suppressed stories involve not just on-air feuds, but jaw-dropping confessions, sudden medical emergencies, and even evidence that at least one past guest was quietly paid to retract damning allegations after a segment went off the rails. The existence of this list has staff on edge, convinced that one wrong move could send the entire operation spinning out of control. But as more details start to leak, it's clear the biggest bombshells might still be locked away, waiting for the perfect moment to explode. And what happened next would shock everyone. Just when everyone thought the scandals couldn't get any wilder, insiders started whispering about a mysterious late-night meeting at a luxury hotel. One that reportedly brought together a top network executive, a notorious crisis PR fixer, and a former host with a history of stirring the pot. What's bizarre is that this meeting wasn't scheduled through official channels, and none of the usual security team seemed to know it was happening. Rumor has it, encrypted phones were piled on the table and conversations turned heated as hush money, damaging recordings, and secret alliances were all on the agenda. Some staff claimed the fallout from this secret summit could be the real reason new policies were rushed out overnight, forcing everyone on the show to sign updated NDAs before stepping back on set. If what was discussed in that room ever leaks, it could rip the lid off feuds and power plays that even the show's biggest fans never saw coming. What almost no one's talking about is the sudden spike in confidential settlement negotiations swirling around the show's inner circle. Insiders claim that just this week, high-powered attorneys were spotted entering ABC's offices late at night with documents in hand and security on high alert. The buzz is that at least 2 current staffers are considering breaking their silence on past incidents. One involving a backstage meltdown so severe producers feared it would trigger a mass walkout. The fear isn't just about what might leak, but who stands to lose the most if these NDAs get shredded in court. Some say the amounts being offered to keep people quiet are higher than ever, hinting that the stakes behind the scenes have reached a breaking point. If even one person decides to walk away from the deal, the floodgates could open, and the chaos that follows would make everything so far look tame. Here's the twist that's left even insiders rattled. Word just broke about a sealed deposition from years ago suddenly being unsealed by a judge, and the names inside are already sending shockwaves through the studio. The document reportedly ties a major network boss to a string of explosive cover-ups, including allegations of hush money paid out after a co-host's mental health crisis nearly went public. Even wilder, some staffs claim this very boss once tried to bury evidence of a guest's on-set meltdown by threatening legal action against anyone who spoke out. The news has everyone scrambling, with frantic calls between lawyers and late-night meetings behind closed doors. As details keep leaking, it's clear the fallout could stretch far beyond The View, hinting at a network-wide pattern nobody ever wanted to see exposed.